What's up guys, my name is Ace, and one of the brand new things they're bringing to Modern Warfare 4 that they have talked about a little bit already is Killblock, and that's a mode where it takes place on a roughly shoot house sized area. But the key is there are 3 distinct sections of the map, and each of those sections will rotate between rounds while you play this, so you never really know what you're going to get with the gameplay on a round-to-round basis. And with this, just yesterday, we got a new teaser for Killblock, showing off what it's going to look like in-game. And presumably this is going to be like a map intro cinematic in-game as well, or perhaps they just created this just for this little teaser here, but this looks really cool. Like, I already kind of knew what to expect with this, but I'm loving the overall vibe here and how this all ties in with the sections of the map coming in from below the ground, and it's a training facility where they can rotate between those. I didn't really picture all of that stuff. I just pictured like loading up the round and the sections of the map are just there. But this does have me wondering if they're going to be showing this little cinematic between every round, so you get at least a little quick bird's eye view of what the map looks like, so you can maybe make a quick strategy in your head before the round begins. Or are you literally just going to spawn in and you have no idea what things are going to look like on the other side of the map, for instance, until you explore there for yourself? Either way, this is shaping up very nicely, and I have seen a lot of people speculating like which maps are these that they're showing off out of the 3 sections here. And obviously the middle map is meant to emulate High Rise, or at least a little chunk of High Rise, of course. Although keep in mind, it's not a one-to-one, things are scrunched down a little bit so they actually fit within the template required there. And then for the other 2 sides, I've seen a lot of speculation of what those maps could be, and I just wanted to point out with this, I think a lot of people got the wrong idea that each of these sections is going to be directly ripped from an existing Call of Duty map, or perhaps like they did with High Rise here, maybe they scrunch it down a little bit, but it's clearly from a specific map. And I don't believe that's going to be the case for a lot of these sections, at least. I think for many of them, they're just going to be built from the ground up to be their own brand new unique thing. And in one of the early behind the scenes videos, we actually got a bit of a sneak peek at a lot of these sections in development here. And this goes to show just how much variety there's going to be with each of these sections. At any point, there could be any combination of these sections popping up. And they mentioned in one of the early blogs, there's going to be more than 500 distinct configurations with these sections coming together, and that they would be adding more post-launch as well. And in that behind the scenes, we got a bit of a look at these combinations here, and I'm actually counting roughly 1,350 combinations, although it looked like some of those were left blank as well. So not exactly that many, but you can see there are tons of different combinations. And this is designed to keep things very fresh, and it's meant to add a whole lot of replayability as well. And just a recap as well, they did mention in the blog that this mode will support expanded gunfight formats, including 3v3 and 10v10, which sounds very chaotic for a small map like this, or fairly small map. Like I said, it's roughly the size of Shoot House. And as I said, it does appear to be shaping up quite nicely here. Another thing they confirmed with that teaser is the fact that at the Fanatics Game Fest in New York, which is taking place from July 16th to 19th, we're going to get our first look at gameplay on this. And they also confirmed for people that are attending that, they will be able to play Modern Warfare 4. I wonder if it'll just be a Killblock only thing, so they're not revealing too much. And if so, that does bring back some memories of the gunfight alpha in Modern Warfare 2019, and that's a big question I've got up in the air. That, I think, was something that really built a lot of hype for Modern Warfare 2019, and it seems like they're really trying to emulate the success that that game had, and that would be a big way to bring a lot of early hype to the game and a lot of interest to the game if they were to launch a separate Killblock-only alpha, just like the gunfight alpha, and I could totally see them going this route. And I really hope they do, because this Killblock mode, it does appear to be one of the big things they're pushing for this game marketing-wise. And I think there's a lot of potential here for people to really enjoy this, because it hits on a few things. First off, people love tiny maps in Call of Duty, especially in recent years. Modes like Shipment or Shoot House 24/7 or Shoot the Ship 24/7, they were always like the most popular modes, or at least it seemed they were the most popular modes. And tons of people would play nothing but that all year round. So obviously there's a lot of demand for those smaller maps, but one of the problems with that is for many people, that gets very boring playing the same tiny map over and over and over again. So Killblock has that opportunity to provide that small map experience while also constantly keeping things fresh, because on a round-to-round basis, you never know what you're going to get when it comes to the map outside of the size. That is something that is fixed. And so I could see this being one of the big selling features for a lot of people, at least, when it comes to Modern Warfare 4. And therefore, I think a Killblock alpha, similar to the Gunfight alpha, would be huge for this. And because of that thought, I was just curious to see when they had the Gunfight Alpha back in Modern Warfare 2019, and they hosted that toward the end of August of that year, so August 23rd to 25th. And therefore, I'll definitely be keeping an eye out around that time this year. The more I think about this, the more I think this is just a no-brainer. Of course they're going to have a Killblock Alpha, but maybe I am just getting my hopes up a little bit too high with something like that. Overall, though, when it comes to my thoughts on Killblock, I know my initial reaction to this was it's probably not going to be a mode for me, and maybe I'm coming around to it a little bit more, but at the end of the day, I still don't really see this being like the main thing that I'm interested in playing when it comes to Modern Warfare 4, partially because I don't like playing tiny maps all the time, even though I know it's popular in the community. I generally like having more variety with my gameplay, where sometimes I'm playing on a smaller map, but then other times I'm playing on a bigger map, and I want to adjust to that. And then another huge thing for me, one of the things I really like about Call of Duty is learning and mastering the maps and figuring out all of the jump spots and the sight lines and the spawns and all of that stuff, putting that all together. That's really where a lot of my personal gameplay success comes from, is the knowledge of the game and the maps. And with Killblock, a lot of that goes away. Like, of course, you still have like certain jump spots. You'll learn each individual section, but as far as them piecing together and being randomized so much, that will be changing a lot, and it becomes a lot more like reactionary gameplay, which I think for some people, they're going to be super into that. And as I said, I think this is going to be a big selling point. I think it's going to be very popular for a lot of people, at least early on. Although I am also getting flashbacks to Champions Hill in Vanguard, and that was a mode where they were hyping that up a fair amount, and it was supposed to be something really innovative, and it was using small maps as well, and it was round-based. And that mode seemed to flop super, super hard for that game. Like, there was a bit of interest early on, but beyond the first month or so of that game, I didn't know anybody that played Champions Hill. And so that fear does come up with Killblock, although I do think they're putting a little bit more into Killblock. I do think this is a really unique idea, and also I think this randomization is going to create a whole lot more replayability for the mode. And it also looks like they're going to be supporting quite a few different game modes, and they're potentially going to be expanding that down the road. One thing I think would be really cool is an in-game tournament system similar to like gunfight tournaments back in the day. Something like that with Killblock as well, that they could bring back on like a seasonal basis. That would be really cool as well. So I hope this mode ends up being supported very well. I hope it ends up being quite popular. Again, I think it will be, even if it's not my primary interest in the game. I think it's good to see this type of innovation, and I'm definitely curious to check it out. I'm really hoping for that alpha. Again, I'm feeling pretty confident there will be an alpha, but I don't know. I don't have any inside information or anything when it comes to this. It just seems like a bit of a no-brainer with this style of mode, and with it being one of the big innovations for the game. Now, of course, these are just my thoughts based on everything we've seen so far, and I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about Killblock overall with Modern Warfare 4? Is this something you're really looking forward to, or perhaps not? And also, do you think I'm onto something? Do you think there will be a Killblock Alpha coming to the game separate from the beta build of the game? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.